You're listening to the Fear in the Southwest podcast. This is Drew.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Alan.
And it's me again, Ryan.
Y'all can laugh at me because I didn't hit the record button last time, but we got a good warm-up. So, here we go. Boy, did we got an episode for you.
I should have noticed the time wasn't even running.
I looked down and I'm all like,
I want to say we were a good 10 minutes in.
We're 10 minutes in and I'm like, uh-oh. Drew fucked up.
All my best jokes already out.
You wasted them.
So for those who are tuning in on Apple Play and Spotify.
We're only on live, so maybe they heard it. This is the kind of stuff we have to deal with, but all right.
You wanted to know.
Oh, my God.
All right, so we just recently took a trip to Vegas. Y'all know it's in Vegas, right? Wow, last time was so much better.
I don't want to say porn conventions again.
Anyway.
There is, though.
So last hour.
Yeah.
Casinos.
Hookers.
Hookers. Fremont
lights.
Street. The Strip. Lights. Bowling alleys.
Streakers.
Casinos. Hotels. Everywhere.
Herpes.
Infected doorknobs.
Did you just say herpes?
Herpes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The herpes was real there.
Oh, my gosh. Anyways, we went up to bowl in a bowling tournament. And
They all have a catfish special, you know what I'm saying?
it happens to be Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum is there. And
Oh, that's cool.
fortunately for us, we got to go. And it worked out. But
Did he have a bunch of Chris Angel's shirts?
no, so first we did we got there, we drove, she got a giant crack on her windshield, so some real Final Destination kind of stuff going on. That's how it started. We get there, we check in, we go practice, and then this one thinks she sees Ben Affleck in the bowling alley and dead stares. With her bowling ball in hand, I'm like, what's wrong? What happened?
I was like, it's Ben Affleck.
And I'm like, look behind her, there's Shaggy.
Yeah. No, this guy really looked like Shaggy. Like, I don't know if he
R&B?
just grew up and they're like, you look like Shaggy, or if he grew up wanting to look like Shaggy. Because I don't know if cartoons could come alive. And then the next day he wore a Scooby-Doo shirt, and I was like, he knows. He's Shaggy. He knows.
He's trying. And I'm looking for a Great Dane. Didn't see one.
I've seen people who are doing, like, Where's Waldo in real life, too. Great.
All right, so we do that. This one places 17th out of like 300 bowlers. So
That's incredible. Good job.
Thank you.
kudos to her. She bowled over her average every game. She chose the best time to bowl her best the whole season, and I'm wicked proud of her.
Vegas was good to me. Yes, very
Vegas
good.
was very
And
good
how
to
did
you.
Andrew do?
Andrew did terrible. Andrew forgot he was a bowler. Andrew forgot how to bowl when your feet stick. One slide, one stick. One almost fall on my face, one almost fall on my ass. So
Drew has the superstition. He hates lane 1 in any bowling alley. He cannot stand lane 1. Where did they put us?
1 and 2.
Lane 1. He put it out there, I think.
It's my
You
fault.
thought about it the whole way there.
my
Sports
fault.
fans, really.
It's my fault. We practiced on lane 5, and I did really well. Put me on 1 and 2, and it's like someone smacked me with a baseball bat and tried to tell me to throw a round ball down the line.
Yeah, not a great way to play.
It was fun. It was fun. The bowling alley was nice. So we go to Fremont Street. The freaks do come out at night. We can confirm that. The freaks do come out at night.
They're around in the daytime, though, too.
Yeah,
They're
but
drinking
Fremont Street, they
everywhere.
They're still sober in the daytime.
they come drunk to Fremont
Barely.
Street in mass. Like mass.
Hordes of people, nakedness, wearing thongs, have
Wearing
pasties.
nothing.
Pasties, yeah. There was one girl
Painted.
that had nothing on. She
They're
just had
taking
pasties
pictures.
on her happy parts,
Yeah, in paint. Anyways, there was a Walgreens on that, and I thought that was kind of weird.
I guess.
There's a Walgreens in the middle
Worst
of that.
days.
Someone's got to get their paint from somewhere.
Somewhere. Keyword. So the next day, we go to the Strip, and I'd run through Caesar's Palace like a maniac looking for a bathroom, but we'll leave it at that. That's how I toured Caesar's Palace. The forum was literally me running into people and out of people's way.
It's a very Drew way of approaching things.
So that was kind of scary for me, but
Panicking action movie character.
yeah.
Just make them hold
Ask
it for a
who
long
was there.
time.
This one picks me up, scoots me up, and helps me get to the bathroom without dying. But
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die. It wasn't fun. Anyways, but the big event was the Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum. We almost died in the Uber ride at the Zach Bagans Museum.
Yeah, we did. Before we even got there, we almost died.
The Uber driver literally was listening to his phone was going off, and he's like, "Your phone's going off, and it's distracting me." And we're all looking at our phones like,
yeah, he started yelling at me about my phone. My phone wasn't even on, and I even threw it at the back of Drew. I was like, "Here, take it," because it keeps making noise. And every time his phone gave directions, he'd give me this death stare. It was like
he didn't know his GPS talks.
Honestly, if I was an Uber driver, from the stories that I've heard, I would want to smash my car into a wall with someone in it too. Like I would just after so long, I'd be like, "We got to up the ante, man."
But he gets off the freeway. The museum is in downtown Vegas, so not far from Fremont Street. And so he approaches the museum, but it's a very small parking lot in the front. We didn't realize there was a side parking lot too. And so he pulls us up to the museum, and he passed the little entranceway, and he just stops mid-traffic. And let me tell you, this is just like right off the freeway. So, people are still kind of flying off the freeway.
Oh, yeah. He dead stopped in the front of the museum. Like, here's your drop off. And I'm in the back of this Toyota Highlander, and there's like this much space. My knees are crunched, and I see a truck with a freaking trailer. And I'm like, oh shit.
And then honking
this is gonna be the place
at us.
I die, in front of the Haunted Museum. I'll go join them, I guess.
And he's telling us to get out right there.
Yeah,
so then as soon as we're getting ready to go out, he's like, oh, wait. And then he starts backing up into the... He flies backwards. And I had told him, I was like, you know what? Just pull in that little parking lot there. There was like a paint store or something. I was like, just park right there. We'll walk to the museum.
That's where they get the paint. That's where they get that paint. That's where they get the paint.
He parks in the front lot where there's security, and they're guiding people. This is like part of the tour area, and they're like...
Yeah, telling us no entry.
So we get out. We walk around to where we're supposed to be. Going, well, we almost died at the Haunted Museum. That would have been fucking ironic as hell.
You guys should have gotten like video of you finding it via like dowsing rods.
Man.
We weren't sure if we had the right.
That's funny. But so that happened, and then I look at the review, and this guy's a gold driver, like safe and friendly. I'm like, this guy was an asshole, and he broke many laws, and he didn't drive slow, and I was actually kind of scared for my life. Especially being in the Highlander, where like I see this truck with trailer, I'm like, this thing hits the back of us, we're fucked. Fucked. There's nothing cushioned back here. It's gonna go right through my back. Anyways, we get in the museum. You guys are a little too early, so we sat in the shade for a while. Behind the museum is a house that Zach owns. And at first we didn't know this because we're like, there's a mannequin pointing through the window.
Yeah.
There's a gargoyle on the roof.
Okay, so we're in the parking lot, and there's this window, like a bedroom window facing the parking lot. And the first thing we see is like curtains kind of open, and there's these two mannequins standing there with like tape around their breasts. And it's kind of bondagey looking. So I'm like, oh, I wonder who owns that house. And I start looking at it more, and I start to notice that it has gargoyles. It has a really giant saint in the front of it,
It's all
like Saint
black.
Michael
Hair gel
or Saint
everywhere.
Michael, Archangel. Sorry, I meant an angel. Archangel Michael is in the front.
Yeah, it's all black. All black. The roof tiles, black. The porch, black. Mm-hmm. The wood panels, black.
Creepy house.
Yeah, it was cool. Anyways, so we get in line, and the security guard's like, yeah, that's Zach's house. He brings like his celebrity friends over and hang out, and that's how, he entertains them over there, and brings them over to the museum.
And then his vehicles were there too. He
Yeah.
owns a hearse and
Of course he does.
an old Camaro
Yeah.
SS.
Zach
That was
is
a
such
rescue
an
from a
edgelord.
creepy situation. So, we get into the museum after standing outside for what seemed like fucking
it was so
forever.
hot. Yeah,
It was hot.
It's about 100.
They got us in line under Misters. Finally, I'm like, yes, Misters. Then you go into a little lobby. The only place you could take pictures, but it was just all aesthetic stuff. We get our badges because we did get the RIP package, so we got access basically to the whole building.
Very
Not
nice.
not free roam, but like there's areas like other people can go into that we
Unless
did.
you have the pass, yeah.
First room. We go into the first room. And right off the bat, like the vibe just
It changed instantly. Well, you could
Sets.
feel the vibe outside of the
Yeah.
museum, but the closer we got to the entryway, it just felt heavy. Like the air felt heavier. Like
Oh yeah.
at first, I was
Yeah, I
like, I
was
think I'm
wondering.
just excited with anticipation. But as soon as you step in there,
it was not your environment necessarily. There's like definitely something.
But I mean,
Thick
you went
there.
in there with your antennas already receptive.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
so you were pretty open to what feelings they were giving you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Can
Can you
was
like further decipher like what it felt like though? Like, did it feel like a negative, like repelling type of energy, or did it feel like it was
Some-
eerily welcoming?
Some rooms I felt anxiety. There was one room where I just wanted to run out of it.
So like fight or flight
Mm-hmm.
panic.
And it was just this one room that really got to me. Out of all the other rooms there was like heavy energy, and I did get shortness of breath. But it is a 30-room house,
it's a huge house
so
plus the basement.
I was like, and it is
We'll
a
get
lot
to
of
the basement.
walking and stuff. And our tour was supposed to be about 90 minutes. It turned into like 3 hours.
It was awesome. Like the rooms definitely, each room has like a vibe and energy, and a lot of times it pertains to like what's in that room. I will say like the tour guides did really good kind of keeping it entertaining, and like they kind some of it was a little cheesy, and like some of it like you really didn't need to do that, but
Now, which room stuck out the most to you guys though? Like,
Items.
the basement was
no, give me specifics. I'm
Every
hungry.
basement.
You're hungry. All right. So the first experience, let's kind of go through the tour.
Okay.
First room we go into, the first thing you see is like this animated, creepy old clown.
Yeah.
And then you see like a guy, Paul, like looks like he was probably a boxer that like just cut at his shoulders and they put him in a box. That was creepy. But then there's a closet where the RIP, which is like VIP, there's dolls, haunted dolls in this closet. And like after we did the whole spiel in there, like, okay, you guys can go in the closet. So the first two people go in there, and then we and her go in there, and we hear like this
We heard a laugh.
from
and
the
Oh, are
inside the
you serious?
And we heard it at the same time because we walked in and we both kind of just stopped.
We're like,
And I tried to look to see if there was some animatronic or
Maybe a
something that was
speaker.
lit up or something there. But it was just dolls.
shelf of dolls.
Like shoulder to shoulder of dolls.
Stuff
and some
that
were
closet
like
full
puppets.
of dolls, of haunted dolls.
Yeah, and some were like the puppets,
Yeah.
Like real haunted dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So we got a little.
poltergeist one, right? The poltergeist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one
it's
ended
in
up
there.
being in one of the rooms
I was actually in the
in
transition.
the circus area. Yeah.
That twin nearly killed that kid.
And that's the thing about this museum too. They had history behind some of the movies that were made and like who died after the movie or if the set was haunted. It gave you all those descriptions. So it was a pretty thorough museum.
Zach has done
Yeah.
an amazing job collecting this haunted, we'll say memorabilia.
Now, is the house itself haunted? Though?
Yes.
Yes.
The house itself, okay, before it became like the museum, it was like a house that had like, they lost a baby. It was a very troubled family. Then the house got abandoned. Then they started people sneaking in doing satanic rituals in the basement.
Right, why
there's
not?
there's
That's where I
people, like,
sacrifice people.
they found the stuff down there.
Yeah, and he even had it on display, things that they had found
Mm-hmm.
in that house.
And then, so yeah, you get into that. So we go into the next room. This room happens to be where the homeowners, I think it was the mom, passed away in this room. In this room is a mirror, a big mirror. There's a memorial for the lady that died in there. There's the crying boy photo with a red light on it.
The crying boy painting.
Yeah, the crying boy painting's in there.
That's dumb.
He has a red light on it to make the spirits think it's on fire. They're hoping it stays that way. There was two different versions. There's the renowned one that's known for, but there's another
Did
version.
he have like the hands resist him? That one.
It was just two different versions of the crying child. In that room was kind of a heavy.
Yeah, in that room they also had Bela Lugosi's top hat, and they had his mirror, in which
He was murdered in front of.
He died in front of it,
Died
but
in-
someone had been murdered also
Oh.
in front of this mirror.
Okay, yeah.
And so they had it covered, but if you were part of the RIP, they would uncover it for you, and you could just stare at it for a few moments.
I only stared for about 10 seconds. I couldn't take it anymore.
That room had some heaviness to
There was
it.
some heaviness.
It had some props from a movie set, and it also had a painting that was in Hitler's hallway.
Oh, and also it had the painting from, what was it, Silent
Hill. It was
Yeah.
the first witch, and it's a burning of a witch, and that one was
Yeah.
just eerie. It was the way the lighting was on it.
And the guy that delivered it drove it from, was it Florida, all the way to Vegas. And when he left, he got into a serious accident.
And he lost almost everything that he was carrying was
And then when he got
destroyed except that painting.
And then the museum that it was in burned down.
Yeah.
So this is literally the last living artifact of that museum. Is that now at Zach Bagan's museum?
That's crazy.
Move on to the next room. It's like the westerny.
Oh yeah, they had
Jesse James' mysterious gun that they found.
They had Wyatt Earp's Bible.
Wyatt
They
Earp's-
also had some Bonnie and Clyde memorabilia.
Yeah, the tackle box.
Yeah, their tackle box
Yep.
and stuff.
Now that's supposed to be haunted?
Supposedly, because that's all they carried with them for their 2-year killing spree, and so some activity had been reported about it. I didn't feel too much and I didn't feel too much in that room. But the creepy part in that room is that they had this music playing, like, westerny kind of music, and it kept cutting out.
Yeah, it did.
It kept glitching.
And they had like a machine.
Like getting that drawn, like slowed down sound to
A
it?
just
little
like-
bit, and then and then it would start back up. And I was like, I don't know if it's purposeful, but you can actually hear the music outside of the room, and it had stopped.
Oh.
The glitchiness had stopped.
Yeah, that was a weird room.
This is that painting. The hands resist him.
Nah.
The most
no.
cursed painting
No.
ever.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, that wasn't in there.
The hands in the.
Now, see, the next room after that was. We went from the Western room. Then we went to that weird.
Oh, there was a religious room
Yeah.
too,
I forgot that's what
where they had bodies. They
had real
have
skull-
over 37 skulls,
real skulls.
real skulls or skeletons in that home.
Then they had the ones two full body in a coffin. And this is where they taught. I forget what the religion cult or whatever it was. It was kind of a secret, kind of fucked up way to like take your life, kind of thing. Like, anyways, so they had two body bones, real bones displayed in a coffin.
So this museum's kind of like the Zaffis and the Warrens one, right? Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's pretty morbid. Like it gets heavy. Like it gets heavier.
Or like.
Like the longer
Yeah.
you stay in there, it's like compound.
Yeah,
So
it's very
Now, you
much
guys better
different.
sage yourself. I wanted to catch
So-
no ghost cooties
Once
from
you
you.
get
Oh,
to-
it gets so.
It happens.
They had like a circus room too, where they had some stuff that was displayed on freak shows, because when especially the traveling circuses, the early circuses started,
The Barnum-
if someone was considered a midget, they were put on display. If someone
Yep.
had some type of deformity, they were put on display, and they actually have some
real
stuff
real
like a
human brain.
decapitated head. They have a decapitated head.
A guy had died. He was 28. He was extreme, like
He was very petite. He was a very small man.
yeah, and like his head fits in a jar. Like, He's that small.
And
it's
they
there.
had fetuses.
So pretty much like Ripley's Believe It or Not kind of thing.
Yeah, very much that way.
was.
Yeah, and then
The Death Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
basi-
exactly. They had stuff like that.
we went into so another RIP experience from the religious room that went into another doll puppet room. It was just basically it was like a way to. This is kind of what they would have saw before they died, pitch blackness. That was their time to think about their death and their life, and they have you crawl through this tunnel in pitch blackness.
And at first, no one wanted to do it. When they told us you can go in here, and
We all looked at each other. We're all like,
I went and I did it. I
was
got
right
on my
behind you,
hands
yeah.
and knees, and
No.
you have to crawl on your hands and knees.
Nah,
and
you-
you can't see anything. And the first one I did hit the wall. And so then you have to rearrange yourself until you start to see light to the other room.
it literally takes you
And-
into the next room.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens in the tunnel. It's just really just
But your thoughts do start running,
Yeah.
especially once you're in there for a while and you're like, okay, I am not seeing an end to this tunnel. Like, what did I just get myself into? I was expecting I don't
Just
know.
gonna find another dead body in the dark.
Yeah.
I was expecting something.
Or
like
one of the dolls will be waiting for you.
and I could
Yeah.
hear myself breathing too, and I was like, "Oh, that's me breathing."
giggle
Like at
again.
one point,
And then, so we get through the tunnel. She tries to scare her dad. That was funny. She ended up scaring a lady who wasn't having a good time as it was.
no, there was this woman there. She did not want to do she didn't want to see certain exhibits. She didn't want to do certain things with the past that she had access to. She was just traumatized through the whole thing.
So why was she there?
She was there
She
for
was
her
there
man.
for her boyfriend, but
Oh.
I saw my dad. My dad was looking at stuff, and when I came through the tunnel, I see his legs. So I went, and I grabbed him, and she had screamed. She jumped. She at one point in the tour, she started crying because she was so terrified of this museum.
It is a scary museum. That is for sure.
Some people fight really hard to not think about this kind
Yeah.
of stuff because they can't take it.
Yeah,
So
even
when they're
just
faced with
hearing
it,
things.
They get mad. When they're in that
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah, it was like her fight or flight. Because even when they played audios of like the history, or at one point they played audio of an exorcism that took place. We'll talk about that a
Yeah,
little
we'll
later.
get to that room. That's a room we've kind of mentioned and we're familiar about,
But
but
she couldn't handle it.
no, that was it was definitely a heavy room. So the next room, we go into, what was it, the death van, right? Mm-hmm. So I forget the guy's name. Kevorkian, who was
Dr. Death. Yeah.
Dr. Death.
That room, I felt a lot of heaviness.
the doctor's office. I was immediately
Sounds like a
hit.
1980s comic villain.
Kevorkian
So the-
or
Dr. Death.
are you talking about Kevorkian or are you talking about the serial killer?
Kevorkian. And they even
Not
had
or like Harold Shipman.
No, they even had his van, because this is what he would do. He would help. He would assist death to people
Yeah.
who were terminally ill.
Yeah.
It was assisted suicide.
Euthanasia.
Assisted
Yeah.
suicide.
The big euthanasia case in the court system.
Yes.
Yeah, and like you
And-
go to the doctor's office, they do a little video skit about him, and then like supposedly the van was destroyed. Wrong. It was found, located, confirmed, and now it's at the museum.
Yeah, and this van is intact. In the very back, they have the setup that they have like a mock setup of what his patient would look like. And he even gave them access to a button, so when they were ready to pass away, they would just click the button. So the death was completely on their terms.
There's one thing about that room that was, I mean, obviously the death van was creepy, the vibe in there, it was very heavy, but the music.
The music and the fact that they used artifacts that were found in the van and
the
from
gu-
these people. And then they
The
had
doctor wrote the
quotes.
music.
Yeah, he composed it. He was a composer as well. And he did artwork. That's another thing that was in
Yeah.
the medical room, was all his artwork.
Yep.
But you see the quotes of the people who wanted to die, and they actually play it for you, so you can actually hear why they wanted to die. You know, one woman had Alzheimer's. She was losing her mind. She didn't want to put her family through it, so she wanted assisted suicide. And so, but he ended up doing prison time
Yep.
for this.
And then once he got out, he died like 3 months later. So that was a heavy.
That room was heavy.
Then the next room, I want to say was the
Serial killers.
the
Okay, yeah, that stuff's that's mind blowing. The serial killers.
okay. So the serial killer room. This is freaking awesome. Like the stuff that's in this room, you know, we've talked about some of the stuff.
Just like
Oh,
the bad
boy.
energy attached to something.
They had Richard
Ramirez
Ramirez.
shirt.
They had his
I was
shirt.
hoping so.
They had his artwork.
His artwork that
Charles
he drew.
Manson's bones are in there.
I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Ted Bundy's stuff that he used to kill
His
people.
glasses.
Houdini's
His,
girdle.
The
Wait,
prison
what?
clothes, their shoes.
and you know, this is off, but in another room, they had a whole room that was dedicated to Ed Gein.
Oh no.
Ed
Ed
Gein.
Gein.
This room
Ed
was
Gein.
creepy. You go in.
You can.
The cauldron is in the middle of the room. This is what he used to cook human flesh.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, and then one more.
Psycho.
Psycho.
Psycho
Yeah.
was
All
all based on Ed Gein, because he had an unhealthy obsession with his mother, and when his mother
She was
died,
a brimstone's nasty lady, though.
and he started to play with taxidermy, digging up graves of women and throwing bread. When he was found, or when he was caught, he actually had a belt of nipples. A belt of nipples. And,
Talk about fashion.
But he would kill people, boil them up, and make things out of like a
He only killed
bowl
what,
of skull.
2 people, right? He killed like 2 people, I thought.
I think
It was mostly grave robbing and the debt, like.
Yeah.
So he was a mass grave robber.
Oh yeah, he was into.
They had the shovel he used. They had the shovel he used hanging up. They had the cauldron.
man.
They had the last known photo of him before he died. They have not an actual piece of skin leather that he did, but somebody donated, as per science, to the museum.
There's
There's a piece of their skin to make
part of their
show
chest.
what it looked like.
Yeah.
That was a room that was very.
Yeah, it was really dark and very heavy in that room.
You could see the bone fragments still in the cauldron. If anyone looked that close, there were still the bone fragments in the bottom of the cauldron.
It was just interesting, and he had this huge glass case
He
around
felt at one with his mom when
Yeah,
he would put
wanted-
on his memory vest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted. Yeah, that's what he
Yep.
had too, a memory
Yeah.
vest.
And then after that was the basement. The basement was cool. Now,
Yeah, that's where they keep.
they don't even let the tour guides go down to the basement. That is how
You have to
heavy-
go by yourself.
dark this basement is. Okay, and so they line us up, and I go down first. They open the gate because there's actually a gate guarding the stairwell to the basement. Like you can't just go down there. Like they have to let you in, and they don't let us down there. So, and they were very specific. Don't be in there long. Keep moving. Come back the same path you came back. And on top of that, they have a spirit box. If anyone's familiar with spirit, they have a spirit box just running in there at all times.
Love that band.
And sometimes it doesn't say anything, and sometimes it doesn't shut up, and sometimes it apparently says mean things. You go down the stairs, it's dark, it's creepy. You have to follow this path.
Demon, fire, stab, stab.
We walked by the spirit box, and I got hello, and then she's right behind me and it says behind you. Mm-hmm. And then it was like.
Yeah, it was
Like
really
weird-
loud. That
weird
was
noises.
one room that I started to get shortness of breath.
Yeah, same.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
first
learn
time.
ventriloquy and ventriloquist
Yeah.
skills, and I'm gonna ruin people's lives there.
Oh my god!
But it was creepy because you could
Help
feel
me.
it was
that one room with the.
it wasn't just like a spirit box going. You could feel that presence. Mm-hmm. Like when you heard the hello, my hair stood up.
Yeah.
It was holy shit.
When she said behind you,
And I was right after hello, and then behind you. I'm all.
that was the
Walks a little faster.
that was the first room that made me feel the shortness of breath and started to make me feel a little different. Because I remember shortly after that, because we had to go in groups, for social distancing. We waited in this hallway, and as we were waiting for the other group to go in, I almost felt like I was on a boat. Like I had to check myself because I started doing this rocking motion. Mm-hmm. And I started to get lightheaded. And at first I was like, okay, maybe you just haven't drank enough water. Or, I tried to, you did have to come up a bunch of
Anxiety,
stairs.
right? It's the anxiety.
So I started
The
to feel
feeling-
that's what started to trigger it.
The feeling gets stronger. But the basement was kind of the first serious
You felt like you're almost
Dark.
in danger.
Yeah.
But when I heard the hello behind you, I just kept moving, went back up the stairs, and went, well, I've seen the
That
basement.
was either the spirit box or Siri is just getting terrified.
So we get to the basement part. That was creepy. That one made my hair stand up. If anyone's familiar with spirit boxes, they don't,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just random.
Sometimes it's just noise
just
and
white noise.
static.
Honestly,
But it
it's
was a
hard.
very-
When you get a voice, that's during that one clip, you'll have 20, 30 different cycles through
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
channels.
And it was a very clear hello
Yeah, you
behind you.
You're not just gonna pick up a radio
And
signal.
there was two different there was the hello was a female voice, and the behind you
With a male
It was
voice.
a male voice.
But deep male
deep,
voice.
behind you. It happens like that. So if you're not listening, but it was very clear. Hello. As soon as I walked by the spirit
Yeah,
box,
as soon as we got into that.
it's it
little
greeted
area.
us, and we were like,
Are you sure it wasn't Siri?
positive. Our phones had to be turned off.
Yeah, everything had to be turned off for it. Yeah.
So we get up to the basement, and then we go into a room apparently where this guitar was found with this young It's like 12-year-old guy with the guitar strapped to him when he died. Mm-hmm. Okay, creepy, but the guitar's there. Let's see. Then we went into.
So can I talk about the room that really got to me?
Yeah.
The room that really got to me was, I can't even remember the guy's name anymore, but it was a serial killer who targeted young men. And
Jeffrey Dahmer?
it wasn't Dahmer.
No.
It wasn't Dahmer, but he took Polaroids.
Ryan Seacrest.
That's the one.
Oh, the
That's
torture
him.
the torture room.
It was a torture room.
Oh, this room was fucked up.
And they warned you before
You don't
going
have to
in
go in if you
that
don't
you
want
don't
to.
have to go in, that there's things of rape, there's things that are there that could disturb you.
Tools.
Being that I've always watched serial killer true crime documentary, I was like, oh, I'll be fine in this room. That room held heaviness. Like, that was the first room I wanted to run out of.
Yeah, that was a
That's
very...
where I started to feel like my heart race.
And they closed the door on us as we were going out.
Even the pictures that got to me, the pictures are awful.
The pictures are awful.
He would bound them and he would stick these pins in their skin and hook them up to electrodes and electrocute them, while he would also take bleach Q-tips, which they had on display, and he would bleach their eyes so they could have all white eyes at some point. And the sheet that they had some stuff on it, and I was like, that looks like feces, and sure enough,
It was. They literally kept the bed
They kept
that he used to torture
everything-
as they found it, with the fecal matter
same
still on
bed,
it.
the stick he used to do horrible things to
needles
them.
were
It was
there.
all there. That was the first
His notes,
room
his
I
notes
wanted
he was taking were there.
to run out of.
That room was fucked up. And then there was the doll that has her own room. What, Sally? Wasn't her name?
Peggy.
Peggy. That's right, Peggy. So we
Peggy
go
the
in,
doll.
and they tell you have to say hello to Peggy and you have to say goodbye to Peggy. You got to treat it like a, you don't. If you say hello, you want to break that connection by saying goodbye. So you walk in, you have to be like, hi Peggy, and then goodbye Peggy. Like literally, no joke. I'm not kidding. Like we all had to do it. Like, and this doll was creepy, and like you could just feel like it was a creepy doll.
I have a feeling Alan would just be like, bitch, and then walk off.
So
are you doing?
With that being said, the next room after that was an actual decapitated head that was like preserved and passed on through.
Oh yeah, it was from Scotland. It was a
Yeah.
man who was accused of witchcraft, and they decapitated him. Yes, that's
Yep.
the doll, and they have her in this case, like a double pane glass case, so no one can.
Yeah,
They do that with Annabelle as well as Robert now.
I don't like her eyes. Her eyes
Peggy
are
was creepy. No doubt, Peggy was creepy.
Like, I think it's because they don't exactly focus. Like, they don't. They're not completely front facing. They're like slightly
They're like
cockeyed.
Yeah.
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 I'm telling you though, like my Furby was way scarier than this one.
Furbies are scary.
Yeah.
Then
Wake up after 6 months and say say words.
so then there's
that taught it.
there's a clown room.
That one
Gacy?
didn't bother me.
That was just weird. I'm
At
like,
all.
Anything
I'm
of
like,
Gacy?
like models of Pennywise, like the new Pennywise, and just a bunch of clowns.
Just clowns and like a little circus.
I was wondering about like John
What is it called?
Wayne Gacy,
Diorama
because
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
they had his.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he
they
had
that
all
there.
these paintings of different clowns that he in the room where he killed most of the boys.
Yeah, there was some of that.
a bunch of paintings of
Yep.
the clowns that he was obsessed with. Terrifying.
It's the clown room. If you're afraid of clowns, would definitely terrify you. I'm not a clown fan, but like it was walkable, I guess.
I would only go there if I had cotton candy.
I'll tell you.
There was no
it's
cotton
it's
candy.
Because then at that point, it's just a circus.
It's good psychology to distrust clowns. They have a single expression
Yeah.
painted on their face, and they try and represent sadness or convey, innocence.
That scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. It's
Ghosts
a
don't like
notebook.
clowns either.
So we did the clown. We went to the clown room. Went to the circus room. We looked inside a crawl space that had little activity going on. The electromagnetic field detector or whatever, EMF detector. Nothing too crazy in there. So just turned around and walked out of there. Then They go into the Conjuring room.
The Bathsheba.
Conjuring.
The
room.
Conjuring, like Warren.
Okay.
And then
So-
the new one that just come out, The Devil Made Me Do It, is one that they got the rocking chair in there.
Okay, yeah, and in that case, they have a audio clip of the boy like speaking in two
Yes.
different voices at the same
Yes,
time.
Yes.
they played that.
They played that.
They say it's
Here's
not
the creepy
impossible
part.
because you have two sets of vocal cords, but you can say two different things at the same time.
This room was creepy. Like it had the picture of the nun, like, and then like it has the notes from the Warrens and like the investigation pictures, and then like they open this automatic door. Okay,
I had
And it has the rocking chair. So when the door opens, it starts playing this clip with the rocking chair sitting in during the.
See, I'm wondering if they took on a lot of the belongings of the Warrens Museum. The Warrens had their cult museum, and it's now permanently shut down.
I believe they
So-
did because there are pictures of her with Zach, and they did become friends, I believe, at some point.
Yeah.
So I
She's
think
a
some
legend,
of those
just
stuff.
like Zaphis.
Yeah, they're
The
both
Warrens
legends.
and Zaphis were both on the Amityville case.
Yeah. So the thing opens. They start playing this actual clip from the recording. It's creepy, and it's the same lady like just started crying. Like, you okay? And she's like, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Like you can tell she's kind of playing it off. I'll be fine. I'm like, oh my god, she's like feeling like.
Losing it.
Then, now this one I can't confirm if it was user error or just a weird malfunction. But like when the thing closed, like the end of the thing, like we're supposed to exit, it opens, starts playing
Yeah.
that clip again.
It opened by itself.
And the lady's
she
like-
had put so
She put the remote down and it's.
she put the remote in this little box, and then it went off again, and then she was like clicking it to try to get it to stop, and it just kept and then opening and then playing this clip.
Like it wanted us to know this clip like 100 times.
What ended up happening was this little boy was being possessed. His body was going through so much, with any possession, and then the exorcisms. It took 1 year, I believe they said, to actually exorcise this demon. And the sister's boyfriend was tired of seeing this. It was affecting him, seeing this little boy suffer every day. So he actually tried to
Antagonize it to do it to him.
to invade his body instead, and he ended up killing someone. He killed his landlord
what?
and was found on the road covered in blood without any recollection of what he had done.
But that guy had a
It was the first-
long history
Yeah.
of issues.
So this was the first case where the government actually put, for the reasoning of the murder, was demonic possession. It is the first recorded reasoning for the murder was demonic possession. That's how intense this room was. We leave that room, we go into what I call like the nautical room, like boats. What was that girl's name that got killed?
Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood that disappeared, and they found her on the shore. Like, it has some of her stuff there. Magazine, a clock from the room, the table where
The
this
fight
fight
occurred,
happened.
yeah.
Some Titanic stuff. The mirror,
Like the mirror the
Captain's
captain
mirror.
would look at.
Yeah.
How many people were there with you? Like, how many people?
Yeah,
Our
how big was
group
your
was
group?
11.
11. They let 11 in at a
people.
time, and then they break it up. Like for the self-guided rooms, it was like 5 people at a time.
I would
By
get
the end,
kicked out of
3
there
died,
so
so-
fast by joking around, throwing salt at people, and like, you're welcome, bro.
And then the next room was
Just checking.
the next room we got to go into was the demon house. Now this house
So it's
was
a room called a house.
No, it's okay.
It
So
is.
let me explain. Zach ended up buying. There was just this really fucked up house. Where was it? Oh god, I can't remember where it's from. But he bought the house, did 2 years investigating it, and it like fucked everybody up to the
Yeah,
point
his
where like he
crew-
lost vision. His crew got fucked up. He ended up having the house demolished. He saved the stairwell. He saved the dirt, and he saved some of the stuff they found in the dirt, and like a door. And it's in the museum now.
When they had an
literally behind a motorized door and window.
Yeah, they had an investigator go to this house, and he pictured a 12-foot demon, entity there, and he kept seeing it, feeling it, and he had been doing paranormal investigations for a very long time. He ended up going home and getting really sick, violently ill, to the point he was hospitalized for organ failure.
Yep.
All his organs had started to shut down
Then
after doing an investigation
there was
of
a
this house.
there was a video clip from the investigations with Zach, and then they found a like a black figure go through it.
You see this dark shadow, and it's a tall shadow,
It's
almost
huge.
like how he said he felt a 12-foot demon present.
I've talked to you guys about this before. The theories I've had on some of the when you deal with the death tunnel, or you deal with these places where so much horrific things happen in any asylum, or in an eastern state, which is a big one on that. You end up running into these like spirits that aren't exactly human. They basically drain the ghosts from the place. Yeah. They stick that until basically all you see is shadow people, and then really, really scary, large, powerful kinds.
You could feel the energy though. They open up,
entity, but not a human.
They open there's like glass, and there's like a motorized. I mean, this is how scared like Zach was. Like, there's rooms in there that Zach wasn't even go in. They opened up the doors, and there's the demon house, like the stairs,
The stairwell, the dirt, things that they found in the dirt.
and you could feel it. There is like an energy, like it's a dark energy in that room. But there is one room. There is one room in this whole museum that like I thought the basement was creepy, which it was, in its physical, like, evidence-wise. Like, you could feel it and you can hear it, and once you get more than one sense going at one time, and you're already like high alert. The divot box. Yes, he has the divot box in this museum, and he had such nightmares about it falling over and releasing the spirits that supposedly hold in this box. He had a wall of glass with a Hebrew prayer around it.
Well,
And
they're
on top of
jinn.
that,
That's what they are.
they have the box itself surrounded by salt and sage, and the sage is molding, and sage doesn't mold. So that is creepy by itself. This is the room where, like, a lot of people, like, at this point, no. They saw, like, what it did to Zach when he opened the glass case. Post Malone was with him, and, like, Zach lost his shit in there. Like, most scared he's ever been.
Yeah, Post Malone even claims that after being in that house, he had bad luck.
Yeah.
He got in a car accident, his plane almost crashed,
House got
and
robbed.
he was a victim of
I can't imagine
armed robbery.
I can't imagine the kind of bad juju you have in a place filled with cursed items.
Yeah.
Stuff picked up from the battlefield of Gettysburg that you're never supposed to touch because you'll be cursed, right?
This guy's got
Wood from
the
petrified
freaking
forest.
divot box,
Same
guys.
thing.
The divot box. We're talking the main divot. He has another one. It's like number 10, but he has the main divot box. In this room, I felt dizzy. Something played with the lanyard on my neck. Something pushed her in the chest. And this is walking around a box.
I wouldn't walk through the doorway.
Yeah, that room was optional also, but I felt like this tugging motion here on my chest.
Yeah, your heart.
And I looked, and
I was pulling your heart down into your abdominals.
But it was after this room that things went downhill for me. Yeah.
This one, after that room, I was
After
like,
that room, we kind of concluded the tour. They kind of let us kind of
finish off the last few.
finish off, self-explore, or what is it called? Roam around a little bit.
Yeah, like 3 self-guided rooms left.
Yeah, self-guided,
To get
that's
to
what I
yourself
meant.
to the gift shop. And basically goes right into the gift shop at the end.
We went to the gift shop. Everything was fine. We got an Uber. We went back to the hotel.
She jumped the curb.
As soon as we got to the hotel, I
Jumped a lot of
I
stuff.
started to feel nauseated. I had
got-
this pain that was right here, right underneath my chest, and right before
All
my
of that
stomach.
tension, anxiety.
And
right.
Yeah.
it got really bad. And at first I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm dehydrated, because you can't have any drinks in there too. So 3 hours without water. We were in the sun before we even went in there. We had been on the strip all day. So I
Las
thought,
Vegas.
I'm getting dehydrated. I didn't even drink that day. So I was like, maybe I'm just super dehydrated. So we went to eat, and I almost just I was just belching, almost throwing up. I just felt violently ill.
Like violently.
And you know how you guys have probably had a really bad fever before.
Oh yeah.
Where you start having fever dreams where you're awake but you're not
It feels
making
like
sense.
it feels like you're dreaming while you're awake.
Yes,
like
delirious.
Yeah.
I
She was out
took
of
a
it.
bath. I took a bath because the bath made the pain go away. It was crazy. The pain was so bad. I was like, I'm just going to take a bath or something.
She thought she was going to die.
And
But she was so delirious. She finally got out of the bath, lay down in the bed, and started relaxing, you know. But she was, like, even in her eyes, like, something wasn't all there. Like, I was like, what the fuck is wrong? And then I went to turn off the light, and she, like, almost hit me
I
because I
shot up,
scared her.
and my hand went to his neck in a chokehold motion.
You gotta get him.
And when that
Get him,
happened,
man.
when that happened,
I-
when I heard him coming like above me to turn the light on, I saw this face, like this demon-like face, like a mask almost. And that's why I like charged him. And then when I realized it was him, and you should have seen his face, he thought I was gonna kill him.
I'm like, oh, fuck.
But at one point he said that I was chanting.
This
or
is the creepy part. I figured she
praying.
was asleep. I mean, I thought she was asleep. I turned the light off. I'm laying in bed, and she starts with sounding like a prayer. She's like, oh no, I'm like, what the fuck is she saying? I'm like, babe, what are you saying? She's like, nothing. I'm just sleeping.
Liberate mus.
And I had nightmares all night. All night I had nightmares. And this pain, like even the day we were supposed to drive back, we almost stayed an extra day because I was so sick. I woke up the next day feeling drained. Like I had had a fever. You know when you fight off fever and you're like shivering and stuff. The next day you feel you just feel drained. That's how I felt.
Yeah, and sort of burnt.
Exactly.
Overstimulated. You spent too much time, and you're just sort of,
Yeah.
Those kind of experiences can leave you in an almost catatonic kind
Yeah,
of
I
shock
just
set.
felt, and I felt really weird too. Like I said, the rocking motion, I could feel myself rocking back and forth when I was waiting for the water. And then I started having these things, because at one point he left the hotel room, and I started thinking, what if someone's going to come at me in the shower? Like I started just thinking weird things.
You were,
And so,
Dean, he came at,
and the pain was here, and I had to lay in the tub, like on my stomach to make the pain stop.
So yes,
what-
the
so
energy
many
does.
cursed items and all this bad juju on everything. Right?
The energy does kind of stick with you. But yeah,
Well, I just have one question.
Let's do a question. Go ahead.
I want to know when Drew came in with the metal stick. That's all I want to know. Is when in the story do you get saved from your affliction?
Brought in an iron stick. You fucking Faye. Get out of here. Get out of here, Faye. It didn't have a Faye vibe though. It felt
Did
more.
you check by the fireplace?
There was no fireplace.
Did she burn?
He didn't wrap me in a blanket and throw
Did
me
she
in a
float in the bathtub?
The water was hot. It's close as I can get.
Because if she didn't float, she's a witch now.
Well, you know what they say. If she thinks
But
she's a
lawyer-
witch.
She thinks that she has a thought. She's
Llorona
a,
loves baths.
and that's the thing
Her
too.
kids didn't like the
That's why I
baths.
thought I had a fever also, because the bath was so hot. Like I could see all this steam coming out, and he put his hand in there. He was like,
Yeah, that's the hellfire within you now.
seriously, like it was bad. And the
You needed a
nightmares.
kind of
And they have said
purging-
there's spirits there that will
waters.
target.
They said there's people that have blacked out.
Those
They even
bleeds.
have videos of people being escorted out by ambulance because they collapsed.
It is the world.
Near
It is now listed as the
ventriloquist.
world's most dangerous museum.
And I didn't know that. I did not know it was considered I just thought it was a museum with cool artifacts. I did not realize how detailed this museum was going to be until I was in there. Until I was in there, and he made us read. There's this wooden sign. We'll post it on our Facebook. But there's this wooden sign, and it's pretty much you saying that whatever you bring with you.
It's not management's responsibility if you get an attachment.
Yeah, and you have to read this aloud. He makes you read
It's a
it aloud
pledge.
as a group.
It's like a pledge.
Then you need a booster shot.
I need a booster shot. And then I put an 18 gauge needle through my thumb.
She's having a rough week, guys.
Jeez.
You can keep your bad luck to yourself. I don't need your bad luck.
I
That's my own.
saged, and then the nightmares have stopped, by the way.
So yes, and you guys have any other questions about the museum?
Or just what?
No,
you
I think
saw?
I might know too much.
I was
He's like, I'm not going now.
I know that
I'm
at
haunted
one
through
point-
your story now.
I know that at one point, Lorraine Warren had a piece of the Little Bastard. So I was wondering if that was there or
It
if it's
wasn't.
somewhere else.
No, it wasn't there.
Okay.
And there was rumors that Robert the doll was there, but he's not there.
He's not
either.
there.
No, he's in a different.
He's in Florida.
I was. We
We
were.
were just watching that. Yeah, he's in a separate museum in England or something like that.
I thought he was in Florida now. He's in a museum in
They've
Florida.
moved him.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
It's still a good one.
It's probably a different video.
Yeah, man, if Robert was there, oh, man.
No.
Then it would be a party.
Annabelle, Robert, that'd be...
Yeah, he'd be fighting other ghosts, knocking over vases, and ghosts get mad at him. You can see a doll just flying against the wall.
And speaking of, like, video, like, they
Yeah,
have videos
he-
of, like,
he does
paranormal...
not- you cannot take pictures of that.
He doesn't
one.
say goodbye
does
to the
not.
other
Yeah.
doll, so
they
like,
have
she gets
actual
mad at
video
him.
evidence from the Museum of Paranormal Activity. Like, the nautical one with the ship, the glass panel that was covering the table,
Oh.
there's a video of this glass panel, which is, you got in mind, it's probably 3/4 inch thick glass.
Just shatters.
Pops off.
Hey, you know those TV or those reality shows about like co-ed living and it's like all that drama and stuff, kind of like Big Brother and stuff. Imagine if it was between haunted dolls.
They try to
Oh
haunt
my
each
gosh.
other.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. That'd be a cool
would be cool,
storyline.
yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
Or just like a really.
There goes Ryan running with the podcast topics again.
Yeah, like that would be a great show actually.
That would be.
Yeah.
A reality show that is all around haunted shit.
Yeah. How about that?
Guys, we're on to something.
Dolls dealing with each other. Robert's tired of their
I-
bullshit.
I already said we should do a parody.
He threatened
parody
Annabelle.
Supernatural.
Annabelle's gonna lose it one
We should
day.
do a parody episode or a parody series of things like Ghost Hunters.
That'd be cool.
Well,
That's the best.
Speaking of that, we are going to be launching a video podcast to go along with this, so you guys can watch us as well as listen, or both. We'll probably do little paranormal parodies as well. Be sure to check out the website www.fearinthesouthwestpodcast.com. Check out Ryan's art. All the podcasts will be on there. We do have a blog on there that we are going to build. Chime in on the Facebook. We want to hear from you guys. Has anyone else been to the Haunted Museum? Have you guys
No.
had similar experiences, different experiences, no experiences at all?
No, I'm
Did you guys get to meet Zach? Because I've seen a few posts of people meeting Zach, and I'm like,
Yeah, sometimes he pops out there.
No, I don't.
That must be the scariest thing of all when he finally shows up.
He's all flexing. Like that.
Well, the thing is, apparently,
Puts on his
according to all
glasses,
the everyone in
Just
there's like,
extra oiled up.
every time he comes back from investigation, he brings something to put in the museum. So it's like, you go this year, next year it's gonna be different.
Yeah, they
gonna have
said
more
it's always
stuff.
changing. There was a girl that was on our tour that had come earlier in the year, and she was like, "Oh, this is new. Oh, this is new." Like she pointed that out a lot that it's changed.
It was definitely fun. Definitely check us out, interact. We want to hear from the audience, because without the audience, we can only talk so much.
Yeah.
But check us out. Look forward to new stuff. YouTube as well. Y'all have any questions, comments, or if you guys have had experience, comment it on the post. Look for the new episodes posting soon.
Or you
And
could write to our Ouija board directly.
I like it.
I like it. That's a good one.
I'd love to like play darts with a Ouija board.
Oh my god.
That'd be great.
Catch it and put it on. Ow. You see, ow.
The planchettes like ow. Spells it out.
That hurt. Stop.
That's what I'm saying.
I like it.
Or else.
Or have
Fine, I'm leaving.
Just a little bit of holy water and salt.
No.
Like you talked about the energy you guys were taking with you. So why can't I wait by the exit and shoot people with holy water and salt?
We watch this like, ah!
And you know what?
Even
though?
better, holy
Welcome,
salt
bros.
water.
The security. Oh wait.
Yeah, get them in the eyes so
the
diamond teams
security
live.
to this place is
wanna hit this
insane.
sage?
Yeah. It is well secured.
They have the security. The security don't mess around.
No,
they're
they
not
don't.
afraid. You are standing too close to the building. Like they're not afraid to.
They'll set you straight.
Yeah.
But maybe if you tell them, hey, I'm here to depossess people as they come out. Maybe just become one of the security guards that has like this holy water salt spray. Ah! Is it from the demon or just because it's salt in my eyes?
Like checking the wand, checking to see if there's EMP instead of like a metal detector.
You have a demon.
Demon alert! Demon alert! Demon alert!
Yeah, he just hit an 8.
That's an 8.
It'd be fun to do a parody of going back dressed up as a team as Ghostbusters.
Haunted.
Oh, we forgot about that room. Speaking of Ghostbusters, they have a celebrity death room. Okay, I totally gapped this room. You had to say
Forgot.
Ghostbusters. Yes, they have a Holly so they have what, Sharon Tate.
They had Sharon
her
Tate's wedding dress.
wedding
They
dress
had her
there.
wedding dress.
They have Robin Williams
Back when she
jacket
used
he
to
wore in a
hang around.
movie.
And they had Brandon Lee's coat that he
Yep.
wore in the Crow.
They had
One that's not a bulletproof jacket.
Patrick Swayze's tooth and passport, and his like spiritual stuff.
Crazy Swayze.
They had the chair that was in Michael Jackson's room, that white chair. If anyone's ever seen that photo.
Burn that.
And then they have a Ghostbusters room
They did have a Ghostbusters room.
with the actual ghost trap from the movie, and it still works. They have the mold that made the backpacks in there.
It'd probably look cooler than my makeshift vacuum backpack thing contraption that I would walk in there with.
Not
That's just playing on my phone.
I can't believe you forgot about
And then
that
they
room.
had the giant picture of Vigo
Yep.
from Ghostbusters. Yeah, and the giant picture there.
That's cool.
But
The museum was awesome. If you guys are in the paranormal and the spooky, definitely, if you're in Vegas, check it out.
it's worth the money.
It's definitely worth the money because you will likely get an experience, a feeling, and to be that close to this stuff is mind-boggling.
Yeah, clean yourself after.
Yeah, sage yourself
we were like-
before.
Even if you don't
after.
go,
Before
if you
and
go to
after.
Vegas, just clean yourself. You don't know where people have been.
That's where, yeah.
Herpes.
Vegas is haunted altogether. All the mafia stuff. Oh, that's a different podcast. Let's just stop there.
No.
Let's just stop.
All right.
All right, guys. This has been Fear in the Southwest podcast. This is Drew, and you have been listening to the Fear in the Southwest podcast. We'll see you next time. Stay spooky.
Bye, guys.
See you later.